morning, guys. Morning. June 21st. Wait for a few more people to jump in. Some interesting stuff going on this morning already. If you watched my video, who watched my video yesterday? Anyone? Video yesterday should give you a good idea of what I'm going to say here today. If you did, you know the level that I'm talking about, that you are starting to see that rejection off of. So let's see. We'll see who watched it. Big level that we're rejecting right now in the NQ. Sort of gives you an idea of what to watch here today, but we'll obviously go over it here in the live stream, and we'll sort of redo that analysis, because you should, if you watched the video yesterday, you should have a good idea of what's happening right now. So let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Welcome to another week. I hope you guys had a good extended weekend. I did not do much. I relaxed, hung with family. What else? Played a lot of F1. What else did I do? Washed my car. Went to a car show. That's about it. Nothing crazy. Relaxed. Looked at some charts. Got some work done. Hope everyone had a good extended weekend if you had off. So let's do it. All right. So today's the 21st. Futures, as always, economic earnings calendar. We got some stuff on the economic calendar to be looking for. Tesla 680 level. This is a big level to watch today. Something I think you should have on your charts. Google, big breakout level potential if the market sees upside, but that is questionable. We'll have to see if the market does see upside, but there is some good levels to watch here on Google. Shopify, we can see last week held that 300 really well. Yeah, Formula One as well. Of course, watch the Canadian Grand Prix. Shopify held that 300 as well very nicely. So let's see what we can do off that 300 this week. That's a level to watch. Microsoft coming into a very important 274 level. This was a previous support that is turning into somewhat of a double top. So definitely want to be watching Microsoft at that. I put shop holding 300 twice. Shoot. All right. Well, we'll look at something else. I got more for you there. Microsoft off that 274 resistance. Let's look at Amazon off of 110 instead of that second shop. You can see I put shop twice. We'll look at Amazon during that period at the 110 level. This is a big top here on Amazon and a potential breakout point or a potential rejection point. So Amazon setting up interesting here. Boeing, big level on Boeing as well. Boeing's had some nice strength over the last few weeks, and Boeing is coming up to a really big, important 4-hour resistance, 4-hour supply. So I want to go ahead and show you guys that. You have Snow, which is testing 124, and then you have Nvidia off that 155 demand. So I have a lot of interesting tech names today, guys, for you. A lot of interesting charts. This is going to be, I think, a pretty interesting week. I hope to see some continuation in a single direction this week after, a pretty action-packed previous week. A lot of economic news, a lot of digestion of economic and macroeconomic data. So I hope we see some type of direction this week. That's really all we need as traders, right? We just need to see a direction. So it's been pretty choppy. We got some nice downside, but since about Wednesday of last week, we sort of chopped around Thursday, Friday. So hoping to see some nice direction today and the rest of this week, get some opportunity. So let's get ourselves familiar with some of these levels today. Let's get ourselves familiar with some of these charts and try to obviously get some opportunity off them. So first thing I want to go over real quick, guys, is the economic calendar for us here. Just get a good idea of what we can expect this week. This week, obviously, market was closed yesterday. James Bullard did speak. Today, we have home sales. We have some more Fed presidents speaking. We'll see if that affects the market at all. 12 o'clock and 3:30. Tomorrow, we have Jerome Powell testifying at the monetary policy at the Senate Banking Committee. So this could be interesting. This is right at market open. So tomorrow at market open, Jerome Powell will be opening his mouth. So we got to watch out for market open tomorrow. more Fed president speaking. We have Thursday jobless claims as usual. We have manufacturing PMI, and then we have Jerome Powell again. So this week is a lot of Fed presidents. As I sort of looked at this earlier, you can see a lot of Fed presidents speaking, including Jerome Powell this week. So definitely something to watch out for. You have Jerome Powell tomorrow. You have Jerome Powell Thursday. And you have Bullard speaking. You have a lot of Fed presidents, right? So let's watch out for the speeches from the Fed presidents. That's something we have to sort of understand and know when it's coming out. This is at 7:30 on Friday. 5-year inflation expectations, new home sales. So this week, I think a lot on real estate, right? You have some real estate news coming out. You have a lot of Fed presidents speaking that could be sort of market moving in some sense. And then you have a few inflation expectation and PMI numbers. So, yeah, when's the bank stress test? Thank you, LC. When is that? When is that? Let me look that up. That's interesting. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how the stress tests. That definitely will move banks. Thank you for pointing that out. I missed that. Let me know when that is in the chat. Okay, here. Let's see. I'm looking it up now. Stress test. So if you guys are not familiar with bank stress test, it's basically the Fed goes and basically puts out, in easiest terms, Thursday. Okay, Thursday, we got to watch that. Easiest terms, they basically just put out what's the worst case scenario for a bank and does it pass the test? Can a bank withstand a very tough economic environment? They sort of, I'm not trying to get into the details here, but they basically put a bank through the worst possible scenario and seeing if it does withstand that scenario. If it does, then it passes the stress test, and usually that's a positive for a bank. So we'll see. That's interesting. Thank you for pointing that out. I missed that. Appreciate you guys for that. All right. Let's continue. Let's do the futures. Very interesting rejection here this morning, guys. This is exactly the level that I talked about yesterday on the channel. This is 11.5. 11.5. This is a very big level today. So why is this a big level today? Why is there a big zone here on my chart? If you missed my video yesterday, we'll go ahead and review it. So let's go ahead and first of all start at the daily chart, because this level actually dates back on, or actually can be seen on the daily chart, which is why I think it's so important. You can see right here, guys, 11.5 is this wick low right in this general area from middle of May. So you can see move down. This wick low on the 20th of May was 11.5. And this is important, right? Because this is where you're starting to see a rejection set in. Now, if we zoom into the hourly, you are going to see this even more. Let me get a little bit more time here. This is going to become even more apparent. So if we zoom in here on the hourly, you can see this level, this wick low that I just talked about on the daily is 11.5. And you can see we're starting to see some rejection there. You have a previous rejection point here from last week, or from 2 weeks ago, right? We got up through it on FOMC, rejected that 11.8, came back down, and where are we now? We are right back to that 11.5. So this is, as I talked about on my video yesterday, this is sort of like the middle of the seesaw for me, guys, this week. Do we get above 11.5 or do we stay below 11.5? If you put a weight in the middle of a seesaw, I think that weight is 11.5 this week. If we see a hold above 11.5, I think the weight moves towards the upside. If you see us reject 11.5 this week, I think the weight starts to slip to the downside. So that's my best analogy, right? That's my best analogy for what this 11.5 level means to the market this week. That's why you're starting to see this rejection. I think this is a very crucial level to watch out for on the NQ this week, and it will sort of give you that feel of where the market is wanting to move. And if we continue to see rejections off 11.5 this week, I think you continue to sort of slip. So 11.5, big level for me. Talked about this yesterday, and you can already see the rejection that's starting to come in. I'm not saying that it's a big rejection yet, but you're starting to see the importance of it. If I go to the 30, if I go to the, let's go back to the 1 minute, you can start to see the rejection that is slipping here off 11.5. So that's number one, and you can see we're starting to get pretty aggressive off of it. I'm actually in an NQ short right now, so that's probably doing pretty well. So 11.5, very nice. That's number one most important level there. If we continue to reject it, let's say today we see something like this. Let's say we do something like this today. Let's say we get a lower high, something like this, or even if it's more extended, let's say it takes the whole week. Right? Let's say we sort of chill here for a week or for like a few days. If we continue to see this, I think this gets weaker and weaker, and I think you will continue to see that downside. That's what I'm watching. If you see a break and hold of that level today, let's say you get a breakthrough, right? You see a hold, right? You get something above it. You start to see some upside off this level. Then I think you can maybe see your continuation. I think 11.5 is your major level to watch out for. So that's number one. That's definitely very interesting to me. So let's run two scenarios here. First scenario, you get paper money. I peak. I still am trading. I'm still paper trading futures. I'm just having fun, really. Just learning it. You know, there's nothing wrong with paper trading something that you're not used to. So I continue to paper trade futures. I'm just, learning it, getting my feet wet. So I'm not in any rush to put real money on the line. But if I continue to see, success, then eventually maybe I will. So let's run the two scenarios, right? 11.5, if we see that hold this week, guys, I think you can probably push towards that 11.8. I don't see much resistance up here if we are able to hold above 11.5. That's for sure, right? So if you can see that 11.5 break, if you can see it hold this week, I think you can target that 11.8 area. I think you can target these highs. If you can see that push, if you can see that hold of 11.5. That doesn't mean that it's, we got to still zoom out, right? That does not mean that this market is bullish at any sense. If you can get a push towards 11.8, great, maybe some short-term upside, but let's not forget where we are, right? Let's not forget where this market is trading. If you can get this upside, great, maybe a little opportunity to a little upside move, but yeah. You already know. I hope you know. I hope you know where this market is. 11.8 push is not going to take us out of the weeds. It's not going to turn this market bullish. Maybe it's a short-term opportunity. If we don't get over 11.5 this week, then I think you will try to retest the lows. I think you will try to retest these lows. If you do not see a push over 11.5, if we stay weak all week, then I think eventually you're going to start to see that slip back towards these lows. So that's what I'm watching. 11.5, 11.8, 11,000. There's your three levels on NQ. 11.5 is the big one, and you can already see the rejection coming in. All right, let's go 4 hour on the ES. 4 hour on the ES. Major level is clearly the 3850 to 3900. This is a major level. This is a major supply zone. You guys can see right here, previous support into resistance. And I think I definitely believe it will be resistance again, right? I definitely believe it will be resistance again. So that's your major area to watch this week, up around 3850 and 3900. That's about a 50-point supply range right there that we have to watch out for. Now, where are we rejecting this morning? The exact level we talked about in my video yesterday, right around this 3735, 3740 level. Why is that? You can see it right here. Previous support of early last week, and it is starting to show rejections. So, what's the middle of the seesaw for me today on the ES? It's the 37.35, 37.40 range, right in this area. It's the previous triple top or triple bottom from early last week. You can see it right here. 1, 2, 3. Push off FOMC up into that 38.50. Rejection, right back into this previous support, and you are starting to see the resistance come in. So if I go to the 1 minute chart, you can start to see, you're starting to see the resistance come in this general zone. Maybe you move this up to 37.50, just now that you have the market giving you some clues. So maybe you sort of watch the 37.50. That's right around where it started to reject. Nice psychological level. So maybe we keep an eye on that as well, the 37.50. But for the most part, and when you look at these lows, It's the low here is 37.35. The lows here around that 37.40, and the lows here around 37.20. So I think it's more this 37.30, 37.40 range. Market peaked a little bit higher into the 37.50 this morning. However, you can clearly see, guys, same story here. Previous support into resistance. We need to get above this level. If we can get above this level, I think the same thing, right? If we can see some continuation off this level, then maybe you push towards that FOMC high. If you are not able to see the ES get above this level this week, then I think you sort of complete this potential bear flag and you start to move back to the downside. So that is what I'm watching. 37.40s on the ES, 38.50, and then the downside 3600. Okay. Dow, same story, guys, right? Everything's sort of in the same situation. You can see previous support. The Dow's actually trying to hold it as support today. You can see previous support, resistance. We actually got above it. So this is interesting on the Dow. Maybe a little bit of outperformance here, but it is the same story, right? You have previous support that turned into resistance. It looks like it's trying to hold support today. That is a must hold. If you can hold here around this 30,240, 30,200, then you might be able to get that push towards the 3080, what is that, 30 or 3900. Right up there. So you can see if we can hold this previous resistance, turn it into support, what is that, right? That's a break, that's a retest. If we can actually hold this break and retest on the Dow, maybe you see some outperformance here. Break, retest, previous resistance into support, maybe you can get that push. But that needs to hold, right? You got to see that hold, that 3240 to 3200. This general area needs to turn into demand. It was previous supply. You need to see that turn into demand there. Okay? Finally, the Russell. Similar story here, guys, right? So you have previous lows, right? Previous lows right in this general area. I'd like to call it right around this 1710 area, 1706. If I draw a zone here, you can start to see the rejection that's coming in. See this? So you can start to see this rejection. Previous support, 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 resistance. And you can see this morning we're starting to see a little resistance. So watch out for that 1710 general area on the Russell. Watch out for that to hold down as resistance. So you guys can see all the indices, all the futures are doing very similar things. NQ pushing up into previous resistance, right? Which was support, turning into resistance again. ES, same thing. Previous support, turning into resistance. So let's watch those levels today. As always, guys, if you want to get these levels in a text format, make sure to check out the free Discord down below, where I post these charts every morning. So I post these charts that I talk about in the live stream in a text format for you guys to review, for you to be able to go back to. Let's say intraday, you want to remember what level I was talking about. It's all in the Discord chat, completely free for the futures levels. All right, hopefully that helps. Tesla. Interesting chart today on Tesla. What's the major level I'm watching? It's 680. 680 right here. So you guys can see right here, we have Tesla 680. This was a very important previous level. You have a rejection here, you have a rejection here, you have a rejection here, you have a rejection here. So you have a lot of rejections here at the 680. You're starting to get that push towards 680. What does Tesla do if it tests 680 today? That is definitely a level I will be watching. Can we get a short play, right? Can we get a short-term opportunity to the downside off 680? Or do we see something like this? Do we see the break, the hold, and then the push towards the 700s? This is definitely a level to be watching on Tesla today and this week. So 680, big level in my opinion on Tesla. What else can we see? We can see that we gapped up this morning. You can see we gapped up this morning. So if we go to the 5-minute chart, let's go ahead and do some shorter term analysis here. You can see we gapped up. The gap starts around this previous resistance at 660. You can see here rejections, rejection off on Friday. So that is another major level to watch, 660. So there's your two major levels. This is your little zone this morning. So if you see a move to the downside, if you get a break, a retest of 660, that could fill the gap, right? You could see a gap fill off of 660. Or you could see the washout long, right? You could also see the washout long. So I'm not telling you what happens at these levels. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I can tell you that there's going to be reactions at these levels, reactions that are tradable, reactions that can make you money, right? So either maybe a washout long, you could get the breakdown in the retest and the gap fill, you could get a rejection off 680, or maybe you can get the break, retest, and upside of 680. So very interesting, right? A lot of opportunities here off these levels. That is sort of what I like to do, guys. You see this? You see me do this a lot. This is basically just showing you the opportunities at these key levels. That's why I love watching these. So 680, 660, about a 20-point range. Do I want to trade Tesla in this range? Not really, because I know that there will be reactions at these levels that I can trade. So 680, 660 on Tesla, very, very nice to watch there. Google. Interesting chart on Google, guys. I've been watching Google more often just because I've liked its movement lately, and the option contracts. I know the spreads are pretty wide, but they are pretty good if you get it right. That's the key with it. Obviously, that's the thing with every option contract. They're a little bit more dangerous, as we know. Google options are definitely a little bit more dangerous, but when you get a good key level here on Google, sometimes it can be very advantageous to take that play. So Google, you can see here. Support, resistance. What did it do all last week? Look at all last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The entire week, all 5 trading days, we held up at the 2130 level. So that's interesting, right? We know 2130 is a major level here. We are trading above the 2185 this morning. We are trading above the 2185 this morning. What's the importance of that 2185? Let's zoom in and take a look. So you guys can see it's very clear. 2185, 2185, 2185. Very big level at 2185. If you can hold this level this morning, I know it's a little choppy because of the 1-minute candles or on the little wicks here. I don't know if you can see it, but Google is trading right now. The bid is 2185 by 2190. So if you see that hold on Google today, if you see something like this where you hold 2185, I think you could try to play off this level, right? You could possibly trade off this 2185 today to either the upside or maybe even the downside. If we lose 2185, if we turn it into resistance again, right? Let's say we do this, turn it into resistance again, then maybe you could look at something just like we seen last week. Another rejection to the downside of this channel. I do not trade. You really can't trade short term off fundamentals, Matt. Fundamentals are for long term investing. Google's not gonna trade today based off its Sharpe ratio and the PE, the forward looking PE or valuation, right? It doesn't trade off that. It trades off short term momentum, short term technicals. So if you want to invest in the long term, yeah, sure, fundamentals very important. But for short-term trading, for options trading, fundamentals do not mean anything. So 2185, this is very important, right? So let's watch that. And then to the upside, 2225. That's your next resistance point right here. 2225, that's your next resistance. 2185 today. Downside support, 2130. I think that 2185 is going to be very interesting today. So watch that. Shopify. Zoom in. So, what's the importance of 300, guys? If you guys remember, 300 is the low of this big C. Low of the big C. So right here, 300 was the low of the corona. Right here. So you see right here, this was the low, March of 2020, and you can see we tested it. Now, look at the reaction all last week off this level, 330. Right here. 1, 2. Double bottom, 330, or I'm sorry, 300. Very important level there. So let's keep that on our charts. 1, 2. Very important. So watch that 300. You can see we're starting to get a little push off of it this morning. What's the level we need to watch? Let's go to the 15. Let's get a little bit more time. It's pretty clear here, right? It's pretty clear. It's a very clean breakout point, right around this 331, right? It doesn't take much to understand that this could be a point of squeeze, right? You could see a squeeze. If you can see a break and retest here, or maybe it just goes right through, this could be a squeeze point back towards these previous lows. You have these previous lows. This could be your squeeze point back towards 350, right? That is definitely something to watch this week. If the market can hold strong, if you can get upside on the market and shop can push through 331.50 right in this general area, you could definitely see that squeeze towards 350. On the flip side, if you see this and you start to see this exact same thing here, right? Let's take this screenshot. Let's bring it up here. How can I make this look good? Can't really make it look good. Never mind. Nope, it's not going to look good. Never mind. I tried to put it there, but yeah, same exact thing. I wish I could just mimic this and put it here. It would make things a lot easier. It would make it, make the explanations very easy to see. But if you see this exact same thing, right? This looks very similar. You could see that. You could see this push towards 331.50 and another rejection if the market's weak. Or you see the break and retest to the upside and the push towards 350. Either way, very important level to watch this week on Shopify. Really like this. Definitely something I'd be watching, guys. Okay, Microsoft, same exact thing, right? All these charts looking very interesting this week because they're all at very critical levels. All at very interesting levels. You guys are having your own conversation in the chat, huh? What are we talking about, guys? I'd pay attention to the live stream rather than talking in the chat. So, yeah. So, you guys can see here, 254, 254, little double top on Microsoft. 1 and 2. You guys can see right here, right? 1 and 2, double top rejection point. So Microsoft, why is this 254 important? Why is this 254 important? You can see right here. Previous support into resistance. You can see right there. Previous support into resistance. So on the hourly chart, you can see the little double top that's forming here on Microsoft. What happens here today? What happens here today? So that is what I'd be watching, guys. 1, 2, 254 on Microsoft could definitely be an opportunity, right? Could definitely be an opportunity. So watch out for that today on Microsoft. Okay, I want to look at Amazon instead of Shopify for the second time. Here's Amazon. Very similar once again. All these charts looking very interesting on their hourlies. All these charts sitting at very crucial levels. Here's another one. This is Amazon. Another very interesting level here for a breakout. You can see previous support here, broke down. Previous resistance here, broke down. Pushed to the upside again. Do we break out? Do we break out or do we reject? That is another interesting level here, just like Shopify, right? Just like Nvidia, just like Microsoft. They're all so similar. So that is what I'd be watching on Amazon. They are so similar here. So you guys can see 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Pay attention. So much tension with these stocks. Hope for the break. Yeah, could be a nice break. That would be a pretty aggressive break. Why would I think that'd be aggressive? Because look at how quickly it moved to the downside. Look how quickly Amazon moved to the downside. All right, you can see right here, big move to the downside. If you can get back above this rejection point, I could see a move towards the 116. Look how quickly this dropped. I mean, this dropped vertical. So if it goes up through this 110, you can move pretty quickly towards that 116 because this was very quickly to the downside. When I see something vertical to either direction, I could see it move up to the upside just as quick. So quick downside could mean quick upside. So definitely going to be watching this on Amazon. This is a really interesting level here at 110. Okay. Boeing. 4 hour. Look at this level. Actually, you know what? I got to go to the daily because this actually dates back. Pretty far. Here we go. Daily. All right. I'm getting distracted by the chat. I might have to close it. I'm just gonna close the chat, guys. So I'm not gonna see what you're typing. Getting distracted by it. Here we go. Boeing. Support. You guys can see right here. 1 and 2. Support. That's a very important level for Boeing, right? 140. You can see that importance right there on the 4 hour. Very important double bottom. Now, you came back into it on the 4 hour chart. You can see you came back into this level at 141 previous week. Right here. Big rejection point. Right here, you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big rejection point, and you got the downside move. Held the bottom here at 120. Where are you at again? Right? You are right back at that level. You are right back at that level. On the right back at that level at 142. So very interesting. This is either a very nice rejection point or a very nice breakout point. If you go to the 4 hour, you can see there's not much above, right? Not much above if you can actually succeed through this level, right? You actually could get a nice squeeze if the market's strong, if you get a push through this level. Now, if you reject, then I would look for that rejection. Okay. Sorry, Jeremy. You might be talking good stuff, but you just won't stop. So I actually pulled up the chat again, and it's still going. So, yeah, Jeremy, just take it easy, man. Chill. You might be talking good stuff, but it's just very distracting. So rejection points here at 142. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rejection point, downside, push back into it. Do we short here? Piff? Yeah, maybe piff. Might be a nice short. Definitely something I'm watching. Definitely something I'm watching this week. Do we get some Boeing rejections here? Do we get some rejections here off this 142? Definitely something to watch. If you short it, Piff, let me know. Maybe I'll do it with you. All right. Snow, next level. Next important chart here. Here's the hourly chart on Snow. Look at how important this 124 is. You can just see this. I don't even need to say anything, right? I don't even need to say anything here on Snow. You already can see it. So this is another chart that I think is worth watching, right? A lot of these charts, as you guys see through this live stream all today, there are so many stocks sitting at crucial breakout or rejection points. Now, why do I like that? Why do I get excited about seeing stocks sitting at those levels? Because I know there is opportunity coming soon. I know that you're either going to see breakouts, which could give you some upside movement, or you're going to see some very clean rejections, which can create some very nice downside plays. So you have so many of these stocks, almost every stock that we've talked about today, sitting at either breakout or rejection point, which is very interesting, and it gives you some idea of where you can play it. So here's another one. 124 on Snow. Reject or support. Rejection. What happens here? Do you play it here? Right? Do you play it here, down off the 124, back to the 115? Or can you see some type of break and retest? Can you see something for upside? That's what I would be watching. Can you see the 124 upside, rejection, upside move, support, and then move back to the upside. That's what I'd be watching. Something very similar to this. You guys see this back here? You guys see this? See this break? This retest of 124? Can you mimic this on the left side of the chart over here? That's what you'd be looking for. Something very similar to this. Break, retest, continuation. Or push to the upside, just like this. What did it do? Rejection. What could it do here? Rejection. So either way, guys, opportunity is approaching here on Snow. I would definitely be watching. Okay. Nvidia. Again, Nvidia is a little bit, I'm not loving where Nvidia is, to be honest, guys. I just wanted to throw it in there because I think it's an interesting chart and something to watch. I know a lot of people watch Nvidia, so I wanted to throw it in here. I don't love what it's doing, and here's why. Here's why I don't love Nvidia. Because you can see we're on a little island. We're on a little paradise island of price action. Look at this price action. It's just a little island. So, I mean, it's tough to sort of get an idea of what it could do here. Look, here's the 5-minute. So you have little island to the downside, 162.60, little upside resistance, 164.50. And if we go back to the hourly chart, this is sort of your range. This is like where the water starts on either side of the island. 164.50, 162.50. What happens when you enter the water, right? What happens when you enter the water here on either side? So interesting on Nvidia, little island of price action here. Island boy, yep. You also are trading within a previous gap. So just a lot of weird stuff going on here on Nvidia. The price, the chart's just really choppy. You have a gap here, right? You have a gap here. You have a gap here, right? So just tons of gaps. Not really loving that. Sort of keeps me from wanting to trade this, to be quite honest, guys, because if I can't really feel or really get an idea, if I can't really get an idea of what I'm watching or what I'm sort of looking at, it deters me, right? I'm not going to just take a trade. It's sort of giving me, it's not passing the vibe check. That's the easiest way I could say. It's just not passing the vibe check here on Nvidia. But, you know, if you can get that move on the market, if the NASDAQ can be strong today, then yeah, I think you could possibly fill this gap, maybe up towards that 166 or maybe towards that 168, 169. That's definitely possible. All right? That's definitely possible. So a little bit of an upside, maybe towards that 166. Downside, if you fall below this gap up, right? If you fall below today's gap up, which is right here, right? What's the low of this candle? Low of this candle is 162.63. 162.63. If you break below that 162.63 on a weak NASDAQ, let's say you see this, right? And you start to reject, boom, you got your gap fill, right? So interesting. That's why I bring it up, because it is an opportunity chart. There is definitely opportunity here. But the problem I have is it's just sort of chilling in this gap. There's really not much for us to look off here. I think the best trade, I think the trade that I would take here on Nvidia would be the break and retest to the downside. I think that's a trade I would take. This is the trade I would take if I see it. Besides that, I would probably wait for this to push into maybe this 167 area. I'd probably wait to see it push into this previous rejection point. And then I'd be more interested. So that's Nvidia. That is what I had for you guys. Now, if you guys could just take 1 second and press the like button, that would be fantastic. If you take 1 second out of your day to press the like button, that would be very appreciated and helpful for the channel. Help me get to 50,000 subs. We're getting there, which I very much appreciate you guys for the help on that. Thank you for almost getting to 50,000. Let's go ahead and pull up the tickers that you guys want to look at today. There's a lot. I'm going to go ahead and quickly erase some of the duplicates that might be here. So I'll just let you guys know. So I'm deleting Shopify off here. I'm deleting Amazon, Google. And I think that's about it. Okay. All right, let's get started. These first tickers look a little penny stockish to me, but we'll see. AERC. Yeah. AeroClean Technologies. What is this? Aerotine Technologies. Yeah. Good luck. Best of luck, my friend. I do not get involved in this type of stuff. I would just maybe watch the 20 SMA on the 4 hour. There you go. 20 SMA on the 4 hour. Aerotine Technologies, leading radar applications out of their grandma's basement. Hopefully you guys know that where Aerotine comes from. But yeah, good luck. Watch the 20 SMA. I'm not really interested in that. Another one, Rev, not interested. CYTK. It really hasn't gone anywhere for a year. So, with huge upside potential. So yeah, 43 on CYTK. I'm not really sure what this is. Cytokinetics. It hasn't really gone anywhere for a year. I'm going to move past this one. WPC. What is this? I mean, maybe just watch this uptrend. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get to some real stock soon. I'm not really sure what this is. WPC. I would just watch this uptrend on the weekly. HQY. Health Equity. This is the MOAS, chef. You're right. I might miss the MOAS. Here is HQY. I would just watch this rejection point that's come in since November of last year at 70. Every time it hits it, it rejects. So that's what I would watch. SLB. Oof. Awaiting imminent patent approval. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, boss man. SLB, just under that 41, not good. Right here, you can see big breakdown under 41. I would make sure you have to see it hold this 36 on SLB. Yeah. All right, I think we're getting into some real stocks now. Here we go. X. So you got U.S. Steel, big breakdown after sort of a downside move on the materials last week. So you guys can see downside move under 22. That has to hold these lows. If that doesn't hold these lows, I'd watch out, guys, here on X. But could be an opportunity, right? If you stay within this general channel, watch that 18 level on X. All right, here we go. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting into some real ones. XOM, energy. You guys saw the crazy pullback on energy last week, right? Here comes XOM. Here comes some energy names. XLE, crazy pullback. What did we talk about? We talked about waiting for the 20 SMA pullback. Yeah, it went right through it. There was never even a sign of buying here. There was not a single green candle for the last 2 weeks. Crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row to the downside. No buying opportunities yet. Crazy pullback. This is why I always talk about do not buy stocks that are overextended over the 20 SMA if you're looking for a good entry. Just not the best place to enter up here. Oh, look how deviated it was from the moving averages. Big gut check here. Big correction. Not, I want to say correction, but pretty interesting downside move. Here's what I'd be watching, guys. 70. See if you can get XLE back to 70. If you can get XLE back to 70, there might be some opportunity there. But overall, guys, this whole area could present some plays on the energy sector. Very aggressive and quick pullback could definitely be met by some sympathy buying. On this very quick, aggressive pullback on energy, this could be presenting opportunity. So watch XLE. XOM did the same thing, right? Back towards these previous highs, I think is where I'd watch it. Right around this 83 area. right here. So previous highs here around 82, 82.50 is sort of where I'd be watching. But you are at the 100 SMA on the daily chart, which is another interesting watch. Big volume on that daily chart. Holy crap. So, yeah. Energy is interesting. I'm definitely going to monitor this pullback on energy. I'm not the one that thinks this is over. I'm going to be monitoring this for maybe some short-term, maybe a short-term bounce after this very aggressive downside. So we'll be watching energy. I'm not thinking it's probably ready to be bought yet. But, you guys can see, guys, you are getting a little bit of what's going on with the 1 minute charts today on TOS? You can see we're getting some upside this morning right there. CVX, XOM, little upside. XLE, little upside. So is this the day we hold? Is this the day we get a little bounce? It's possible, but this is definitely an interesting pullback. I would look at this pullback as an opportunity. I would not be scared of this pullback on energy. Okay, UNH. Yeah, UNH just couldn't do it, man. UNH broke this trend. This is with off the back of the XLV. Look at that XLV breakdown. Look at that XLV breakdown. This is the healthcare sector. Look at that breakdown. Not bullish on healthcare because of that. Oh, AbbVie's back to our level. Oh, crap. I forgot about this. I might need to buy some more shares here on AbbVie. We're back to our level here on ABBV. This was the level I was waiting for us to come back to. So 138, previous resistance, possible support here. Definitely worth watching AbbVie here, guys. I would be watching AbbVie there. UNH, back towards this double bottom, maybe in this 450 range. All right. Yeah, AbbVie has been terrible lately just because you're getting a sell-off on the healthcare sector, right? Healthcare sector has been weak. So AbbVie's going to be weak as well. Yeah, healthcare sector's weak. AbbVie's going to be weak. But, guys, these downside moves on these traditionally, sort of non-tech names, they're going to present opportunity, right? Big XLE pullback, XLV pulling back, XLP's been pulling back. So I'm going to watch these, right? I'm not on the bandwagon that these are over yet. I'm still thinking there's opportunity here. So I'm going to monitor. I'm not going to just blindly buy calls here, but I will be watching for where these pullbacks come to. So 868 on XLP, around 70 on XLE, and then probably around this previous high on XLV, around this 118 right here. So definitely interesting. All right, definitely interesting. XLV, XLP, XLE. You guys can see all those sectors are turning, coming back to pretty key levels. Gush. If you're bullish on gold, sure, man. I mean, that's really all I could say. If you want to trade gold, you can see it's kept breaking down. Yeah, I mean, it's a bullish ETF for gold. I would just, if you're going to trade gold, I would just buy gold and I would just hold it in a long-term portfolio. So just watch that. I would just watch that. Costco. Okay. 5 minute. Costco. So Costco finally broke down for us. Oh, Gush's oil. My bad, guys. I don't look at this stuff. I got to be honest with you. I do not look at these types of, my bad. I don't look at these types of ETFs. It really has no importance to me. But, all right, let's take a look at it again. Sorry, that was my bad. Definitely a rookie mistake there. Let's take a look at this ETF again. 142. Yeah, I'm sorry, on the Gush oil. I don't look at this stuff, guys. I really don't. I'm majority looking at tech names on a daily basis. So I'm trying to help, but probably not the best person to ask on these ETFs. All right, Costco. 5 minute. What do you guys remember about Costco? I was trying to trade the breakdown off of 460, right? I was trying to trade this breakdown off 460. Right here, 460. You can see that push into that rejection point, and we got the breakdown. I missed it. We talked about it like 10 times, and we missed it. So unfortunately, I missed this move, but I think it's still a possible trade. Let's keep an eye on the possible 450 rejection now. So watching now to see, does 450 turn into resistance? This has been a very strong support level on Costco here. You can see how many times it held up. Does 450 turn into resistance now? That's what I'll be watching on Costco. Okay, Target. Let's go daily chart on Target. Oof, Target's just getting hit, man. Target's not stop. Yeah, is that the gap fill? Is this the gap fill, guys, on Target? I think it did it. It did do it. Holy crap. Yeah. Target did it. It filled the gap. The gap was 138.50. You guys can see right here. It filled that gap. So, yeah, I would look for Target to hold this 138.50. If it does not, watch out. But, yeah, 138.50 gap fill on Target. Walmart. Yeah, Walmart's just chilling at this demand. That's what you're going to have to see. Can it get back above 120 and hold? That's what I'd be watching. Or look for the break of the lows. But big demand zone for Walmart. That should be interesting to watch for. Let's go. We're running out of time, so I'm going to go Apple, because this is important. I'm going to go Apple, AMD. We looked at Datadog every day. It's doing the same thing. Zoom every day doing the same thing. Adobe had earnings. We're going AMD, Apple, and we're getting out of here, guys. All right, AMD, Apple. Here's Apple. You guys know what's the important level, right? 132.50. I don't even need to remember. It's engraved in my head. 132.50. So you can see we are back above 132.50 this morning. That has to hold. I've talked about this multiple times. 132.50 has to hold. Very important level. So let's see if it holds today. It's back above it. You can see it quickly got back above. See if it can hold that 132.50. Rejection point up here, right? 138. So you're in that channel. Same as all the other names. 132.50 to 138. That's Apple. Finally, AMD has been a really weak stock. Really weak stock. Interestingly weak. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Something I must have missed. But 85 has been a very crucial level. You can see in the 4-hour chart, this is a really important level at 85. If I look at this 5-minute chart, if I see AMD turn 85 into resistance, guys, I am looking for the downside. So 85 rejection point is what I'll be watching on AMD. Previous support into resistance. If it gets over 85, I would be looking for these lows. 86. So I would watch this whole zone. 85, 86, previous support into rejection. That's what I'd be watching for. All right, guys, I'm out of here. If you want to join the Discord chat where I trade live every day, link is down below. If you want to get my levels for free on the futures, link is down below. Thank you guys for being here. If you could press that like button, help me continue to grow this stream, help me continue to grow the channel, that would be much appreciated. I very much appreciate you guys for coming to the streams, liking them, subscribing, letting your friends know, letting your family know, letting everyone know. Thank you guys so much. Hope you have a fantastic day. Remember, it's a short week. It's Tuesday, so we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Remember that. Let's see what the market does. Let's wait to see. Let's wait to see what 11.5 shows us today, guys. We can already see it starting to reject again. This is it. Right? We talked about it in the live stream, in the chat this morning. I said 11.5 is going to be our guide today, like Moses through the Red Sea. And then Sierra said, I have no sense of direction with Moses in the Red Sea. So 11.5, guys, that's the level. Watch that today. That should give you some idea of where we're moving. Thank you guys so much. Press the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.